Hey there, Nikki Harden, the Cleanse Queen and the formulator of 21 Cleanse, my therapeutic grade organic herbal cleanse system that helps you clean the toxins, the chemicals, the environmental pollutants out of your body, repair that damage, and feed your cells vibrant nutrients so you can really create empowering health and feel alive. So we've been talking a lot about toxicity, and in day one we talked about the metabolism, how really to harness the full power of your metabolism you need to focus on the food and your toxic exposure. And the scariest part about toxic exposure is that it's naked to the eye. The toxins are really coming into our body without us even really knowing. So here's what I mean. They're in the air you're breathing. They're in the water that you're drinking. They're in the water that you're showering in, and your skin is the most absorbent organ in your body. They're in your skincare products. They're in your shampoos. They are literally everywhere, right? They're lurking everywhere, and you can't see them. And that's scary. So, at least if you're gonna go have an ice cream cone, you're like, okay, I'm having ice cream and it's probably not the best choice for me, but I'm gonna do it anyways. But with toxins, you don't have that choice. There's things you can do to significantly reduce your toxic exposure, and we're sharing that with you during this process. But it's really important. Today I wanna focus on how we can get these toxins out of your body, because they accumulate in your system and they slowly start to rob you of your health and your life. Suddenly and it's like, I don't want to get out of bed in the morning. I'm not thinking clearly. I just don't feel good. My digestion's off. Like, what is this all about? And that's toxic overload and toxic buildup in the system and the degradation of your metabolism. So I recently had a couple that actually just went through my 21 Cleanse system, and they came to me, they said, so we think we're relatively healthy, we're happy, but we just know that there's a level of quality of living and health that's available to us that we're missing, and we need a reset. And I said, okay, cool, let's do this. I love it when couples do this together because it's awesome. What happens within their relationship really is really beautiful. So we got them on the detox, and it's so funny. Dallas called me. Her name was Dallas. Dallas called me. She said, oh my God, Nikki, within just a couple of days, I found myself like sprinting up the stairs because it just seemed like a good idea. And I didn't realize that how much effort it was taking me before, and this time it was like fun. And then I had all of this mental clarity and crispness and drive in my business that within that 3-week time, I came up with an idea for a new program, wrote all of the content for it, created all the marketing material, launched it, and had a successful launch in less than 3 weeks. It was incredible. So this is what I'm talking about when we have this level of quality of life and vitality that's really available to us, but because we become acclimated to a lower grade of health, we aren't really conscious of what's available to us. So just to help you understand a little bit, what happens is these toxins build up in your system. Your liver can't deal with them. And so as a way to deal with them, it creates additional fat cells to store them. It's a protection mechanism. So it puts it in the tissues and then it traps it in the cells, and you get this abnormal cell growth happening. This, I believe, is really a big part of why cancer is so rampant in our country right now, or maybe in our world, because we work with people worldwide. So what you have to do is you have to systematically and strategically get these toxins out of the tissues and out of the cells. You have to what they call mobilize them so that they can leave the body, so that you can experience a greater living quality of health and living. Just before I go into my 3-step process of how we're going to get these out, I just want to share with you a little bit about my personal story, because a lot of people ask me, how did you get into this? And I actually started studying nutrition when I was 15 years old. And for me at that time, it was all about performance. I was a 3-sport athlete and I wanted to be the best. And so what I soon learned is it was about food is about so much more than just energy. It's also about mood and about mind. And so studying nutrition and the body became like a hobby, and also it was peppered into my my work initiatives all the way until the age of 29, and then everything changed. So at 29, what happened was I was struggling with depression, and I refused to take any medication. And so I went to India because I was determined to find natural solutions to heal my mental and emotional imbalances. What's interesting is that simultaneously I was also struggling with leaky gut, and despite doing all of the right things my entire life, right? I started at 15. By this time I was 15 years in of eating healthy, being organic, drinking water, exercising every day, doing yoga, meditating, and I still felt like crap. I didn't have energy. So I'd heard about when I was living in India, I was doing Ashtanga yoga and transcendental meditation every day. And I'd heard about the spiritual side of cleansing and the mental and emotional benefits that could come through it. And I said, okay, this is like the scariest thing in my life to check myself in and just surrender to this process, but I'm gonna do it. So I checked myself into this ashram, and 3 days in my cleanse, I picked up an Ayurvedic science book and I read it like it was the 15th, remembering the Sanskrit words and all of the scientific terms and everything. I then scheduled meetings with doctors, and I was like, I had to talk about this stuff, and none of them believed that I'd only just started learning. They swore I'd been studying for at least a decade, and I was like, no. So already I was like hooked, right? And then 3 days later, I woke up and 8 pounds had just melted off my body so fast and so rapid that they sent me home early from the ashram, that I didn't even get to do the full span of the cleanse. And I was like pretty upset about it until 2 days later, I woke up and I watched my cells vibrate to literally release decades, if not lifetimes, of mental and emotional suffering. I literally watched it leave my body, and within just moments later, it was like I had to rush to the bathroom because all of the physical toxicity purged my body. And on the other side of this was a godlike potential, for lack of better ways of saying it, that I had always read about, but I'd never understood. I felt so alive, so energetic, so empowered, so happy, and so connected that I was hooked. And so I went and I studied Ayurveda one-on-one with an 8th generation practitioner at his healing clinic in India. And there I really learned the science of healing with herbs and food, because we were working with people with cancer and tumors and real like life challenging situations. And the miracles just happened before my eyes consistently. So I wanted to keep learning. And so of course, what do? You move to Thailand and you manage detox programs at cleansing and fasting resorts, right? Because that's what you do. And so there we were healing people with herbs and juices. And so then I again saw the transformation that was available, and I'd really learned how this all happens. But from a scientific perspective, things didn't make a lot of sense just yet, until I went back to LA and I managed a detox program. I mean, not a detox program, excuse me. I managed a metabolic testing lab here in Los Angeles. And then I could see the science, because I'm a very visual person and I like science. I always take a natural approach, but I come from like a scientific perspective. So, because I believe in the healing, the empowerment of the human potential, and that the body is actually designed to heal, and that science empowers us to do that, and then we can bring in natural processes. So I'm kind of a geek, and yes, I'm a total geek, but that's why I've got my cleanse system, so I can share it with you. 21 VIP cleanse. If you're interested, check it out. So then I just really understood, and that was thus the birth of my cleanse program, so that people could integrate this into their daily life without having to either, number one, come into a massive health crisis, or number two, leave their life to try to find a better way of like empowering health, right? Because who wants to use their vacation and 10 grand to go to Thailand and fast and feel like crap most of the time because of toxic overload? So you bring the cleanse into your life, and then you've got transformation right there. So here's my 3-step approach, because I really want to share this with you. So the very first step to getting these toxins out of your body is you have to reduce and, as much as possible, eliminate, stop the cause. And that means changing your choices so that we can reduce our toxic exposure. There's a lot to learn in this area. I actually teach a toxicity masterclass that dives deep into food, environment, products, lifestyle, and that's a whole nother deal. You can check about it on my website. But today I want to talk to you about the areas. We're going to talk about food. Consider the food that you're eating. Go 100% organic and plant-based, like I said, on day one, right? That is going to significantly help reduce your toxic exposure. And then your water. You've got to make sure you're drinking the absolute purest, cleanest water that you can, and change your shower head so you're not showering in it. You can also look at the skincare products, your shampoos, your household cleaners, your air that you're breathing, bring in purifiers, EMF exposure, light pollution. There's a lot of things you can consider, but if you focus on the food and the water, I promise that's going to take a big chunk out of it. So then your second step, after you've stopped the cause, or at least reduced it, is you want to remove the congestion. So this is what I'm talking about getting these toxins out of your cells, out of your tissues, out of your organs. And the way that you really need to do that is with specific herbs and supplements. That's exactly why I created my therapeutic grade cleanse formulas, because we want to bring them into this equation so they can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Now, you'll notice in my cleanse kit, when you go to 21 VIP cleanse, that there's actually 6 products in the bundle. That's because you need the formulas to pull the toxins out of the body. The herbs, that's what they do. They also repair the damage. And you need to bring in other supplements that are then going to bind with the toxins in your system to make sure that they leave the body. So you have to remove the congestion. Now, once you've stopped the cause, then you've removed the congestion, the third thing you need to do is you need to bring your cells back to life. And you do that by feeding it high vibrational organic minerals, vitamins, enzymes, all of those things we talked about on the first day. So you've got to give your body nutrients, high vibrational, high quality nutrients, so that the cells can come alive and everything can work again. It's really, this is all built into my turnkey cleanse kit system. You can learn about it at 21vipcleanse.com. I'm really just here to help. If you have any questions, you need to jump on the phone with someone, please email me at nikki@nikkiharden.com. We've got a team here. We're here to help you. Please tune in tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to talk about behavior and lifestyle that keeps you from realizing your goals. So get out of your own way, tune in tomorrow, check out 21vipcleanse.com, and reach out to us if it's helpful. Thank you.